Hello, all, and welcome to Beyond the Grave. Oh no, I'm using the Trinity Continuum overlay. I've gotta fix this so much. Apologies, I did not think. Did I have this for last week and no one said anything? I am embarrassed beyond belief right now. Let's see. I think I downloaded them already. Apologies for this. This happens upon occasion. Overlays. Let's see. I must have had it last week. I'll have to see if I can get someone, if I can ask people if I can fix it in the post. We'll fix it in post. I hope some people were here last week for the overview of They Came from Beyond the Grave. It was very much one that I liked a lot, and hence why I've come back here to cover it again. And that work? No, that did not work. That was Trinity Continuum. That's there we go. There we go. We're doing it live. We're good. Thank you all for coming to this crap show right now. I think I'll put. So first off, what are we doing today? I'm the awkward GM. You can see it on the overlay now that it's properly set up. And what we will be doing, what we will be covering, is how to make a character in They Came from Beyond the Grave. I've got my seltzer right in front of me, and we can begin. So, let's see here. And if you have any questions or any preferences on how I make this character, please let me know in the messages on the stream chat and whatnot. I've got everything up and running on this end. And then I've got my handy dandy PDF right here in case anyone is interested. Now, what is They Came from Beyond the Grave? If you haven't been here before, They Came from Beyond the Grave is a Onyx Path Publishing story path game set in sort of a horror movie type setting, sort of like the schlocky horror movies of the 1970s and 80s. And also those classic movies that are set sort of filmed in the 1970s but set in like the 1800s, the Victorian era, Gothic and all that stuff. And I see that we have a lot of people here, and I'd like to say that there is a contest going on right now. If I am not mistaken, one of our own from Onyx Path Publishing, I'm not part of it, but Matthew Dawkins has put out a tweet that has basically said you'll receive there's a contest that is basically going to happen where if you do a short video vignette on TikTok or YouTube, you could possibly win $150 worth of game-related books. The only caveat is that it has to be related to Scion, Trinity, They Came From, and the Realms of Pugmire. You know what would be a great way of getting that $150? You could make a short video taking the audio from a schlocky movie and lip syncing to it and putting They Came From Beyond the Grave on the top of it. And if you do that, please at me on Twitter or at me on YouTube or whatever. I'd love to see that. In any case, we're making a character. If you have any ideas for the character, please let me know. First off, we'll go down all the way into character creation rules. Character creation at a glance. Please be, oh, thank you, Matthew. And I say thank you, Matthew, because Matthew Dawkins created this exact game, was the lead designer, I believe. If I go back to the credits, you can see developed by Matthew Dawkins up here. Anyway, I love a good at a glance character creation. It makes things simple, quick, and easy for me, typically. Sometimes they'll be missing something, but 90% of the time I like this. So we have our we need a concept for this. Please pitch me any concepts you have. We're going for a 1950s or 1980 or 1800s-esque character. I think like a I'll if you have any ideas, put them in the chat. I think I'm leaning towards maybe a mad scientist type person, or some sort of other type of archetype. I'm going to come up with the concept later. We can choose our 2 short-term goals and aspirations or long-term aspirations, but we'll look at the paths first, because those can really determine what type of character you want to create. A big one is, say, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not peeking here. Nope, not peeking. Let's go down to the paths here. So we got here paths. So we have the archetypes of the dupe, the hunter, the mystic, the professor, and the reconnoiter. I wonder if there's a definition for this here, because honestly, I cannot, for the life of me, no, I don't know what that means. Reconnoiter, a person who tells anecdotes in a skillful and hold on, raconteur, according to Google's speech text thing. So raconteur is someone who is skilled and talks to people and tells people what's going on, probably like giving tidbits of information and things. So that's interesting. I like the professor, I like the mystic, I like the hunter, I like the dupe, I like all these things. I'm gonna probably lean more into the professor. So I'll put that down in the archetype up here. Again, if you have anything that you want to put in for character creation, just put it into the chat. I have it up here and I can see whatever you type. Name to be determined. Player is going to be Corbin. Concept to be determined. We'll do our short-term and long-term aspirations later, because they'll probably dictate, be more dictated by what type of character we end up creating. And yes, I do go off the, I don't follow the steps immediately. So we've got our archetype, we have our archetype of professor, and assign 4 related skills. So if I look at the archetypes, I think they have skills already associated with them. So if we go over to the professor, they've got a head in a jar. Aw, man, good times. Though, would a professor really have heels that tall? I don't know. I in my day job, I do work in a lab, and there are very strict guidelines on what shoes we can wear in the lab so that we don't hurt ourselves. Okay, so medicine, science, we could do a lot of different stuff here. Empathy, integrity, enigmas. I like enigmas. Enigmas are things of strange behavior, probably like sort of like your arcana or your occult type knowledge check. So I'm gonna do science, technology, enigmas, and integrity. Science, enigmas, science, technology, integrity. Okay, so I've got those 4 for my archetype. And then we've got here, so we've got that for the moment. Character creation at a glance. Assign 4 related skills. So we've chose that. Choose your dark agenda path and assign 4 related skills. So where is dark agenda located at? Okay, so dark agenda, we've got agent of change. Basically, it seems like you're sort of like a rebel. You've got a cult leader, driven by vengeance, fame, and fortune. Forbidden love. Oh, I love a good forbidden love story. What is it? Forbidden love has a fortune teller and a bartender. That's different strokes for different folks. Protective parent, search for a cure. I mean, we're a professor. We might as well go for search for a cure. This means our suggested skills, we don't have to take them, are going to be culture, enigmas, medicine, and science. Okay, so I'm not sure what happens if you have multiple paths overlapping. So character creation, paths. These are your 4 associated with your origin path and experience. Excuse me. Can't use the same skill. You'll need to pick a different skill relevant to your character's origin. Okay, so I can't pick Enigma, I can't pick Science, and I can't pick Medicine. I can pick Medicine. So Medicine. What was the other stuff for that path? It was Search for a Cure, Culture. So now I get 2 more. Let's do Humanities, because he's going to have to talk to people. And let's do... not Persuasion. And then our last thing, and this is probably going to have a lot of crossover. So we did our dark agenda path. Now we have our origin path. Experiment gone wrong. You went the extra mile to succeed. Somehow it went terribly wrong. Shocker Khan. No, shocker. You've been paying the price ever since. Perhaps your investigations into the paranormal unleashed something horrific onto the world. Maybe you cut too many corners and used subpar components, either on your own or pushed by others. Your need to achieve drove you to do something dangerous. So we've got shady criminal, high school science, School of Hard Knocks. I guess if I were to go the stereotypical route, I would go experiment gone wrong. But let's not. Let's do nonconformist kid. Let's do. You know what? We could do nonconformist kid. You were always misunderstood. When the crowd left, you went right. When kids recoiled during anatomy class, you took a closer look. Okay, so basically the odd person out. And they even have the example of science teacher. Now I'm feeling like each one of these paths is built to work with the professor. Well, they're probably built to work with most of every one of the archetypes. So the examples, they have 3 examples each, so I bet each one of those examples corresponds to one of the archetypes. Like, that's why we had the fortune teller earlier. Okay, so I'm going to be a nonconformist kid. Nonconformist kid. So we had the professor, nonconformist kid, and then our agenda is the searching for a cure. Oh, there's a little problem with the character sheet there. It looks like the text box is over the agenda. Okay. In any case, we have our paths here. Oh, nonconformist kid. What do they get as far as their skills? Larceny, pilot, survival, and technology. Well, I think those are all ones that we haven't taken yet. So larceny, survival, pilot, technology we've already taken. I'm going to take empathy. Maybe they're... Oh no, can't take empathy. We should have some sort of combat capabilities, right? I'm gonna take some aim. Let's take some aim. Now that we've got the aim, we're gonna go down here and look at setting up our skills. So we have a total of 16 skill points, or dots, each rated from 0 to 5. These skills represent our character's ability and education. We can take them from our path, but then we get 6 additional ones to distribute among the other skills. So let's do the 15 first, or 16 first, and then the 5 later. So this is pretty much going to be easy. I want to be a techie guy, so let's put it up 3. So we have 3. If anyone has any suggestions on what skills they'd like me to see put ranks into, just let me know. I'm thinking 3 into Enigma as well, just to be sort of proficient in that. I'm down 6, so I have 10 left. Put a couple into aim, because you always can use a little bit of aim to shoot people. Oh, and if you didn't know, it's actually a holiday where I am right now. It is called Patriots Day in Massachusetts. I believe it has something to do with the throwing tea into the bay, but I am not sure. Okay, so we've done that. We're at 8. 2 dots into persuasion. 2 dots into larceny, so that puts us at 12. 2 dots in integrity. 8, 14, so that means we have 2 left. 1 dot in science, 1 dot in survival or culture. Let's do some survival. Okay. Because we got people here now, I can just go over like some bookkeeping stuff for this week. I already mentioned there is a contest to do shorts and TikToks related to Onyx Path games, like They Came From, Pugmire, and Trinity Continuum and Zion. And if you do that, you have a chance to win $150 worth of, I believe, it seems like credit, but worth of books based from Onyx Path. Now, what else we got here? The game night is going to be on the 28th of April, the last Friday of April. If you'd like to check it out, you can go to the Discord to check it out. I'm just gonna do Discord there. Last other stuff, we have the crowdfunding stuff going on with the Trinity Continuum player's guide on BackerKit. The link is live at this link, which I'll put it here. Oh, okay. I'll put it into the chat. If it lets me, for some reason it's like not letting me do that. It just keeps putting reconnoiter there. Okay, so that's the BackerKit link. Anything else going on? Oh, I could have just done a little shortcut for it. A little shortcut. Come on. Okay. So, and then it seems like Travis will be running 2 weekly actual plays to promote the BackerKit. We've got Divergence on Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time, and Time and Space on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be simulcast on BackerKit also. Okay, and then anything else? Nope, that's about it. Oh, the game night actually has a link as well. There we go. Anyway, apologies. We shall continue. Now, we've got 5 more ranks, I think. Oh no, it's six more dots that we can put into anything. So if I want to put it into athletics, I could put a dot into athletics. I could boost some of these other things too. Definitely going to boost Enigma, but definitely going to boost technology. This professor is going to be your standard electrical engineer professor, maybe. I don't know. So we boosted up to... so we have used 3 now. We have 3 left. Put someone into integrity, persuasion, and let's just be a little cultured. Like, we just have to be a little bit cultured. Now that we have that, we have done our skills. We can now do our attributes. We have 9 attributes that we can... oh, nope. Okay. Attributes. Given a character's attributes, physical, ranks, how many do I put in? Let's look at the at a glance. It's probably right there. Assign 6 dots to your primary, 4 dots to your secondary, and 2 dots to your tertiary. Now, I am a professor, but I'm a sort of bad professor. I'm sort of like the non-conforming professor. So we can do something along the lines of here, where we put primary into being a professor, tertiary into social. So intellect 3. Let's lower our resolve and up our cunning. And then for our secondary, which is going to be our physical stats, we are going to up dexterity to 3, or by 3, and then increase our stamina. There we go. Presence or manipulation, we'll do both of those. I think that's pretty good for a character. Now that we've gone through the attributes, assign 1 free dot to any. Choose a favored approach and assign a dot to all the attributes associated with that arena. Then assign 1 free dot to any attribute. Okay, so I think finesse is going to be our favorite approach. So that means we get an extra dot in each of these. Already I'm at 5 for a lot of this. Feels so good to be bad. And we'll raise the intellect by 1. These characters, this is a pretty strong character as far as I can tell. I was very surprised to see that the dice pools can get so high with these They Came From characters. So we did that, we assigned that. Trademarks. Assign 2 archetype related trademarks, 1 origin, 1 dark agenda related one. Trademarks are linked to the path related skill. So if I go down here, oh, example trademarks. Okay. So for our archetype is going to be the professor. So our trademarks, example trademarks, are in the name of science. According to my calculations, a perfect specimen. Let's not jump to conclusions. I have explored the area. This is both improbable and impossible. Let me look it up. There's more to this than just physical matter. I guess these are, so if I remember correctly, the trademarks are the, essentially your catchphrases. You're going to write down an attitude with an intensity rating. Oh, that's the wrong one. What's your character's signature move? Trademarks are these. Let's just look at the professor and verify that their trademarks are listed up here. Yes, in the name of science, and it has the skill of these things. Okay, so we don't have humanities. We do have enough. We do have the things for according to my calculations. Let's not jump to conclusions. That's a good one. Oh. The trademarks are attached to skills and attributes. So I would have to use let's not jump to conclusions with empathy. This is both improbable and impossible. That one, at least I have both of them. So I'll put that one down. And then let's do, there's more to this than just physical matter. That one at least goes with my attributes. So I'll do that. Now you can make your own. I collect spores, molds, and funguses would probably be your Egon character if you were doing Ghostbusters. Honestly, I would love to do an Egon character. Love that movie. Now let's see. Origin paths. Example trademarks for your origin. Our nonconformist is going to have the 5-figure discount. I drive stick. Is fix it. Out past curfew. Poke it with a stick. Let's do the 5-finger discount. That's probably going to be linked to larceny. Discount. Let's do it larceny and persuasion and cunning. If I look for 5-finger discount, does it show up in any other places in the PDF? No, it's just there, so we make it ourselves. That makes sense. There are some example ones for the professor that already have it set up for us, but that's sort of like a guideline that we can use for creating these new ones, it seems. Don't try this at home. There's a spell for that. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? You don't even have to ask me, like, which one I'm taking. I'm doing what could possibly go wrong, and that's gonna be survival and enigmas. I feel it also should be something lucky. I feel like it should be resolve, maybe. Yeah, let's do resolve. Okay. I haven't written down the other ones though, but they already exist. I'll do that at a later time, so I'm not wasting your time with this. I hope this is informative for you all. Thank you for coming in and watching. Let's see. Oh, I jumped to the wrong section. Character creation at a glance. Back to here. We've got our trademarks already. We go down to step 6, which is our relationships and connections. We assign intensity ratings to each member of the party, add a fated bond, and pick a fated trope. These 3 connections, one for each path. Connections can assign 3 connections to each path. Contacts, groups, and access, with character gaining one of each at character creation. You can build these connections during roleplay. Okay, so we have that. The fated, well, we'll write that down, but fated bond and fated trope. Let's see if we can see more what that actually means. Determined relationships. You write down an attitude with an intensity rating. This is how your character feels about people in the group. Those feelings can be positive or negatives. Unless 2 players are already comfortable role-playing with each other, you'll want to consider getting the consent of the other players to establish these dynamics. That makes sense. You don't want to go too off the rails. You don't want to have a romantic interest with another character if the player is not comfortable with it. Have these discussions, people, and use safety tools if applicable. Or if your players are fine without safety tools, that's perfectly all right. It's an optional rule. Depending on your character interpretations, read about fated bonds on 110. Okay, fated bonds. Fated tropes. Okay, these are the attitudes. So we could have a friendly, well-trusted friend, like a family. You know what? I always like having a nemesis or a rival. A rival would be good, so I'm going to write down that I have a rival. And additionally, I'm going to write down that I have a well-trusted friend. Now, we have that attitude listed down. Since we don't have other player characters, I have to come up with this on the fly. Fated bond can be here's the fated. I didn't see it fated bonds because I was looking at on-screen chemistry. Some relationships defy the passage of time, echoing through generations. When a bond between 2 individuals becomes strong enough, there's a chance it becomes fated, tying the individuals together for eternity. Lovers find each other after time and time, life after life. Enemies perpetually clash, upholding oaths or vengeances. Once established, the bond cannot be broken. Okay. A fated bond can be established between 2 characters, though usually these involve at least one player character. The character's attitude towards each other must at least be intensity 2. Okay, that's good. We both have intensity 2 for both of our NPC or future PC characters. If both players agree, the bond becomes fated. Players may choose to have their characters fated towards each other at character creation with director approval. When involving a trademark in service to the fated bond, the roll gains 3 additional dice instead of 2. The intensity of the bond transcends time and space, with events in one era subtly influencing attitudes in another. Okay, so that's kind of cool. It's like, I like the like you sort of were reincarnated and such. Choose a trope to reflect the bond. Fated tropes only function with a single bond, even if additional ones are purchased later. Okay, so we have I will always find you, I would recognize you anywhere, mine. Never be friends. No. When the fated is target or instigator of violence, you may seize focus to interpose yourself between the attack, sacrificing your next action. Okay, that's pretty cool. You know what? Not even in death. Even death cannot keep the fated apart. After triggering their death scene, the character recovers from their don't forget me injury, gaining the unconscious condition instead of dying. Everyone is shocked to discover the character wasn't dead after all. This fated trope is immediately replaced with another. Okay, so at least we've got that going. And I'm going to put it with the rival. That's a pretty good one. Not even death can keep me from my rival. Now, where are we in the character creation at a glance? Oh, we have contacts, groups, and access. Each one linked to our origins. Now, professor, going to have a school, colleagues, and access to a lab in the school. You get a faction you're associated with, a NPC you're associated with, and you get a resource like or access to something. Non-conforming kid. Let's say, I mean, it's a non-conformist kid, but I'm an adult. My character is going to be an adult. We'll say they're linked to a bar, let's say. So bar, bartender, and back room. They can use the back room whenever they want. Searching for a cure. We'll say a clinic. What's the term? It's a clinic. It's like the minute clinic things. Not an ER. We'll just say pharmacy. He's linked to a pharmacy, and he is friends with a clerk there, a cashier, and he has access to the loading dock. There we go. A few short things. My guy looks kind of like he is a drug dealer now. That might be bad. I'm not sure. But, okay, so we've got those all set up. Now we have 7. Pick 2 tropes from your archetype list. Going down here. 2 tropes from the archetype of Professor. Unless my notes deceive me, everything you're written down on paper, even those trivial details others might have forgotten. Once per story, you may ask the director for clues related to a monster's activities. We must prepare carefully. Abnormal behavior. This one gives me an enhancement bonus. This one, immune to abilities that plays with my mind for the duration of one scene per story. Honestly, whenever I see that type of ability, I immediately jump for it because I do not like mind control. Especially not on a player character. Excuse me. Become one with nature. Enhancements to go through territory, not something I really want. Let me guide you. An expert teacher can guide almost anyone as long as they have the knowledge. I don't really need to help people out with these rolls. I feel like my rolls are pretty good at the moment. Don't be fooled. Once per story, you can snap a companion out of a mental condition such as stunned or panic just by clicking your fingers or talking to them calmly. That one's a good one, and it matches a little bit with the abnormal behavior thing. I have a gadget for that. Oh, this is deeply unnatural, but I like it. You're not just immune to a monster's influence, you enjoy it. You gain a +1 enhancement to all rolls used to resist gaining negative mental conditions such as stunned and panicked. Another one that sort of synergizes with the one I already took. I have a gadget for that. You are a great inventor and always carry around a newest gizmo or gadget. Before the game starts, choose one gadget which needs to be approved by the director before the game starts. It offers a +2 enhancement bonus to a selected task, which cannot be linked to combat. Well, that's not great. Well, I guess if there's probably one for the hunter that's similarly written. You are scientifically inaccurate. You can browbeat others with your intellectual superiority, or at least with your loud voice. If you can come up with a scientific reason for a character or monster's words are wrong, and you explain the reason why, no roll is required to leave the target humiliated and upset for the remainder of the scene. Man, that's fun. I like that one. I'm gonna take that one. I only get 2 tropes, I think, so that one's a good one. You can't defy gravity. We all know that gravity affects everything. And 1 trope from any of the 4 remaining archetype lists. Okay. So if I go for Hunter, because my character is knowledgeable, we'll see what... I'm not going to go through all of the tropes, because you guys should buy the book. But also, let's see... anything can be a weapon. Say that to my face. Aim, breathe, shoot. Preferred enemy. All monsters are bad, but especially this one. Choose the type of monster. You gain an enhancement on any mental rolls when against it. I like that. That goes for a nice professor who knows something about, like, say, werewolves or something. So we've got that. Preferred prey. Now we need our quips. Where are quips? Quips. Choose 2 quips, then randomly draw a 3rd. Okay, so these are the cards. If I had a million quips. A machine programmed to destroy. Am I willing to pay the price? Do you believe in evil is a good quip? I will take that one. And then... watch out, it's overheating. You'll only feel a small pinch. Let's do you'll only feel a small pinch. Okay. Stunts. I think I forgot to do stunts. So let's see what we got here. How are stunts utilized in this game? Page 92. Stunts are special bonuses achievable by using leftover successes. There are 3 basic stunts. Characters also have access to additional specialized stunts based on their archetype and skills associated with the actions, allowing them to perform additional actions. You rely on the ones here in page 132. So we're competent, we're quippy. How many starting stunts do you get? Maybe I'm missing something here. Apologies. $132. I'm looking currently to see how many starting stunts I start with. If anyone knows, please let me know, because I'm not seeing how many starting stunts I get. Oh, that was a giant section that said stunts. You may purchase only given where's character creation? Does it say character creation here anywhere? I'm not seeing anything here. Attributes. Okay, I guess you have to pay for them? Doesn't seem right. It might be in skills section. I'm gonna go to the skills section and see if stunts are listed there. Stunts are not listed there. Maybe it is in the final touches. So we've got the quips. We shuffled the quips. We've got the tropes. That's it. Tweaks. Oh, we can shift stuff around. So as far as I can tell, you do not get stunts unless it's at unless you pay for it. So let's see if we can find the character advancement section. So if you want a skill stunt, it's going to cost you. Oh, maybe it doesn't cost experience for a stunt. I'm just used to how Trinity Continuum does it. But I guess that's it. It definitely feels like it. So many different stunts and cinematics that you can have access to, changing the scenes. These are all cool stuff. Now, if I were to go, I feel like I'm hitting my time. Well, I'm not even hitting my time. I've got 15 minutes left, and we've just finished creating a character. Short-term aspirations for this character will say to encounter the supernatural. I definitely spelled supernatural wrong, I think. What else? Let's say locate a missing person, and long-term find a cure for a supernatural affliction. Oh, it was favorite stunts. Favored stunts. I guess there is. I guess they're just not listed. Okay. Now we've got this. Anything else we're missing on the character sheet? Not really. Okay, I'm gonna put my character's name as Professor Agony. That's the nickname, but his real name is going to be Algernon Professor. No, Algernon Smith, or let's say Jones. Generic last name, but Professor Agony is our cool name. I'm thinking sort of like the that old Lovecraft story. What's that Lovecraft story like? Frankenstein. Herbert West Reanimator. Okay, so we've got our character done. Any other questions you guys might have, feel free. 11 people have joined into this stream. Welcome all. Thank you, EN Publishing, for raiding with 11 people. I'm seeing people jumping in right now. It's awesome. If I give you a pitch, They Came From Beyond the Grave. It's a book by Onyx Publishing, and lets you play out your fantasies of being in a schlocky horror movie. Main thing is you've got your archetypical stuff. You've got your horror movie trope type characters. You've got your horror movie type monsters down here that are kind of crazy cool, all undead themed. There are other themes, if you're interested, that are They Came From Beneath the Sea, I believe that's the name. And these games are very much playing a schlocky horror movie. It reminds me a lot of oh, not a D&D show. So EN Publishing just said, hello there, we're from the show Not a D&D Show, where we talk about RPGs that are not D&D, so we thought this would be a good fit too. Well, thank you for bringing people over here, EN Publishing. I actually do a Not a D&D Show as well, kind of, on my YouTube channel, The Awkward GM, where I do a thing called Beyond D&D, where I go over all the different game lines that I've found over the years. I'll put a link in the in the channel below for you guys to check out if you wish. Basically, I started off doing the Chronicles of Darkness game lines, like Vampire the Requiem, Mage the Awakening, Werewolf the Forsaken, all those, and sort of branched out from there. I've got other games on that list as well, especially the a couple of crazy ones like the Red Dwarf TV show RPG that not many people know about, as well as stuff like Tiny Frontiers, which is one of my favorite ones, though I probably should stop talking about all those while I'm on Onyx Path's stream. But if you want to check it out, I've put a link in there below. It is sorry about the... You've had Matthew Dawkins on to talk about They Came From. That's awesome. This is my first time going through the book, and part of the appeal of me doing this one was I really like games that allow you to be in the director's chair of like a role-playing game, of the in the particular, like running the like there are a lot of these games like Dread and Kids on Bicycles and things like that, and this one really appealed to me because it has narrative changes that you're allowed to do based on being the director. So every once in a while, one of the players can take on the role of director and set the path of the scene going the right direction, or a different direction. There are things like tropes you can invoke. There are things that you can do, like a scene change and other things. The cinematics. So you can say something like, as you know, Bob, in order to rewrite the script and give out some expository exposition, expository exposition is redundant, but that's it. There's like all this cool stuff back here. You can do a montage. You can have a frame story set up and allow for a Deus Ex Machina to come and save all you guys. Anyway, we're heading towards the end. If you guys have any questions about this game, just let me know. It's great to have seen all you guys come in here towards the end. If you're interested, there is a creator, content creator contest that Matthew Dawkins actually put out on Twitter, where he said due to the success around December and January where folks were doing lip syncing and short vignette videos over on TikTok and YouTube for a slew of our games, we'd love to see something like that again, and are running a competition to support it. From now till April 30th, any short videos you upload with the hashtag Onyx Path and the name of your game you're showing off will be entered into a competition to win $150 worth of our books. Videos related to Scion, Trinity, They Came From, and Realms of Pugmires are the ones that we'd love to see more than any other. So to get creating in those videos and show them off as they get uploaded before announcing the winner at the beginning of May. Ah, man, that's a crazy one. In any case, man. Any questions coming in here? Nope, no questions now. I've got 10 minutes left on the stream. I was thinking about all the craziness you could do with this game. Now the game can be set in the 1970s or the 1800s, or whichever like your schlocky horror movie you want to set it in is set. A lot of the characters that they have in here are, you've got your Angel of Death, you've got your Brides of Dracula, you've got the Crimson Mask, the Deadly Departed, which is basically they're ghosts that are deadly to you. We've got the devil himself actually has a character sheet here. And then you've got stuff along the lines of devil worshippers, Dracula, feral vampires, Frankenstein's monster. Why is feral vampires? Oh, Dracula and then versus the feral vampire. Gotcha. You've got ghosts, ghoulians, Frankenstein's monster, haunted house, hellhounds, hypnids. What's a hypnid? Oh, nope, that's a triggering thing for people. Some people just don't like spiders. Imps, mummies, the noble vampire. You gotta be a noble vampire. Patchwork men. Those are people who I think have made themselves immortal. Yeah, some sort of process to maintain their body stasis. Let's see, what else we got here? You know, we've got a few minutes left. Let's look at the director's chair section for running the game. You got here setting the tone. You set the tone, you have the theme, you have the moods. You've got the marriage of horror and comedy, which is one of my favorite things to do with horror games, because you need some levity from the horror. If you don't have levity from the horror, the pacing just doesn't work out as well as you'd think. Definitely what'll happen is your players will either constantly be on edge, or they'll start to not actually care about the horror. They'll become desensitized to it, and you don't want that. Additionally, if you have ever had to deal with role-playing where the players have encountered bleed, bleed is when you feel what your character feels. It's sort of like empathy for what your character has done on screen. That is something that you may want to look into and try to avoid. Having bits of comedy in there helps with that. Communication at the table. Oh, I like this. Just as movies have age rating classifications, consider doing something similar for your game. There's a anecdote back years and years ago when the movie Inside Out came, Disney's Inside Out came, and it's a kids movie. A bunch of people bought tickets to go see it. Instead of playing Inside Out, though, the movie theater played Insidious, which scared all the little kids. They bought tickets to go see Inside Out. They did not buy tickets to go see Insidious. And that's why you should have this discussion with your players beforehand as to how crazy you're going to get with your games. Help StoryPath help you. Their themes. It has lots of game rules that you can apply. How does it translate to the game So there's some options here for trying to get the skills all set up. You don't need to master the skills in the first session. Look over the skills and attributes. Combining a skill with an attribute makes for a potent narrative tool. Sure, the character is going to use the technology skill to solve a dilemma, but their chosen attribute communicates the way that the approach is done. Sense of discovery, mechanics like enhancements, stunts, and directorial control encourage adjusting and adding to the scenario story and figuring out the narrative reason for that mechanic's activation. Directors and players need not flesh out every single nuanced detail of the setting before play. Okay. Yeah, I don't like giving my players all the information up front. Mystery helps build creativity. And then the meta. Rewrites are how you create these meta changes to the game. This is how to make failures more fun, which I believe is a fail forward mechanic, and bestowing negative conditions. I like this. The magic of saying yes. Now, I hate when storytellers will give out the advice of saying yes and or yes but. Specifically yes and. The yes but is talked about here, but you can say no. You can say no, but I'll give you a little bit. Or you can say no and, but I would not say no and very frequently. I would only use a no and if a rule at the table has been broken, is trying to be broken. And I'm like, no, you can't use spiders. We said this person doesn't like spiders. And just to make clear, they don't like other insects as well, so we need to just keep that in mind. In any case, we're at the end of the stream. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for rating before. I'm just going to double check to see if there are any people streaming right now that are in the TTRPG genre at the moment. I don't think there's going to be that many. Yeah, no. Doesn't look like anyone's running any of the games that I am most familiar with. So, and a lot of them at this time are in other languages such as French or Spanish. So I think we're going to call it there. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good one. And I'm going to switch to the overlay now.